Good Tuesday morning to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com. They represent 802 Toyota, Twin Cities Subaru, and 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. You're currently looking at the setup here in the large scale, and you can see this sort of broad sort of trough with several different shortwaves, mostly in northerly areas, especially Canada. One shortwave trough is developed a disturbance that's going to be taking a track off the coast. However, this trough and this is going to merge, and it's going to kind of fill in a lot of snow shower activity during the day, really starting actually tonight and more into the day on Wednesday. Some of the snow showers could be quite bursty, that is, unload maybe an inch over a short period of time, and perhaps even a couple snow squalls in the mix as well. Behind that, we have much colder temperatures that are going to be in play as well. And you can see the temperatures here. They're well below zero, and looking at minus 35 up in the northern areas, Saskatchewan and northern Alberta. This is going to be taking a track behind this clipper system that's going to push on in. We're going to see some of those colder temperatures get in our neck of the woods very briefly, only really for the Arctic chill. It looks like that's going to happen Wednesday night, Thursday morning. That'll be followed by high pressure with a good project weather day on Thursday. Let's take a look at some of the computer modeling. We have a major complex weather system here that's going to be affecting us over the weekend, and that's going to be the main headlighter, but it's well around the corner just yet. Big picture, looking at the European model, you can see just a little bit of a very weak ridge of higher pressure. This high pressure ridge is going to be enough to give us a little bit of sunshine, so a little bit of a better project weather day from here on out once the flurries have moved on out, and that seems to be the case. Some clouds lingering near the mountains, especially northern areas, but not the best in solar, but still we have a dry project weather day the rest of today. Let's run the computer modeling. There's that weather system that's in the middle Atlantic region, and you can see that it goes off the coast, and it begins to fill in some light flurry or snow shower activity during the overnight period. This area of low pressure up here is going to merge. The two are going to fill in for a little bit of a bursty snow shower activity, and you can see that. Then it gets a little bit blustery as we head into the late part of Wednesday. That's what pulls in some of that very colder air, with this very strong ridge of higher pressure building into the region, and a bit of a northwest wind. It looks like the wind is not in play. Good news there. So we're not looking at anything that's going to be of any major problem there in terms of wind. However, once that wind will gust up maybe as high as 35 and blow in some very chilly air in the morning hours for Thursday right here. And then that area of higher pressure is very strong, 1041 hectopascal, right over the top of Vermont. That's going to push away. It opens the door for maybe some southerly winds, some channeling winds, but nothing that's going to be of any significance. Looks like it's going to be under thresholds. Then we're looking at some mixed precipitation types. As you can see, using the most latest European model here, you can see the little bit of oranges and reds. That's sleet and mixed precipitation. So watching that. Just to go back here, you can see just a little bit in some parts of Vermont. That's going to be just a travel issue as it looks right now for Friday morning. So we're into Friday evening now, and basically what we're looking at is some fairly light moisture at this point in time, so nothing major. But you can see that we're looking at rain through the night on Friday night into Saturday, and then here comes a series of weather systems. That first one moves on by, pretty harmless as rain. We're into 0Z Saturday evening, which is 7 o'clock in the evening. And you can start to see a little bit of mixed precipitation type on this most northern fringe here where temperatures are sub-freezing. And that frontal boundary goes right through Vermont. So already we're seeing a little bit of wet snow, some mixed precipitation types. This is 03Z about 10 o'clock on Saturday evening. And this is where the problem comes in here, as you can see. And then it moves out, changes back to snow on Sunday night, and then by the time we get into the early morning hours on Monday, another high-pressure center pushes in across mainly Quebec and ridges across the region for another good project weather day to start early next week. This is precipitable water, and its significance is to watch the moisture. So this is the setup, and this is how this is going to be in play. This is Wednesday, Thursday, and you see the gathering moisture through the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, and down into the southern plains, and a lot of that is being forced north and then northeast around an area of higher pressure, and this comes at us pretty hard. So looking at standard deviation, keeping in mind here between 2 and 4 standard deviation is what we're going to end up with, and you can see the color codes there. So this is some significant moisture, and it's coming at a time when we have a frontal system bisecting the state with shallow cold air, and that means potential for icing. It's way too early to get cute with this, but you can see that up to that point, I'm going to that last panel there, this is up through Friday, and what I'm going to do is jump to the 0Z and go back. It has more extended graphic. And so you can see that standard deviations are quite significant here, and this is loaded for bear with a lot of moisture. This is valid about 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. We'll take it a little bit further. Gosh, I hope this does not pan out, because that is very significant. We're talking around 5 standard deviations of moisture, and the potential for a shallow layer of subfreezing air is not a good thing, but something we'll watch, and I'm sure this will evolve over time. Let's take a look at the GFS. GFS ensemble, so you're looking at the 3-hourly QPF with a little bit of snow shower and flurry activity. This is what's going to be working in tonight and then during the day on Wednesday. Then a break, good Thursday, a good dry project weather, and then we start to ramp up with that more significant set of storms that are moving on in. First of all, I want to take you to the 850 hectopascal temperatures. So this is roughly about the height of Mount Mansfield. This is the 0-degree isotherm. Anything above that typically falls as rain. Anything below that in this space falls as snow, and that's when that snow shower and flurry activity is going to develop tonight and carry over in through Wednesday. And then we got that good dry project weather, and then the temperatures warm up on the other side of that area of higher pressure with that southwesterly flow developing. And of course, you can compare notes by looking at the precipitation type. So looking at the precipitation type, you can see that there's multiple different types right here, some freezing rain, some sleet, and so forth. This is what's going to work in on Thursday night, Friday morning. Then it changes over to rain. We're primarily rain for quite a while here until we see that shallow layer of colder air affecting the mainly some parts of northern Vermont. This is centered on Montpelier, so it may not be picking it up. But needless to say, this is going to be a problematical area right here where we could accrue significant icing. That's what the indications are right now. This is way out in time. Things can change quite a bit, or maybe not. And we have total QPF here. You can see that we're talking generally less than a half inch over a fairly good period of time, and then we're starting to see that beefier moisture begin to kick in just around the corner heading this weekend. No doubt about it, we have a storm system track that's, you can see it with the QPF forecast, is it's going to unload the most here, and then take a northeast track and right through the state of Vermont. I want to also call your attention to the current temperatures as we're well above normal right here. And it's colder than normal in Alaska, western parts of Canada, some parts the Davis Straits between Greenland and the Canadian archipelago. And then the Arctic has warmed up a little bit. It's very warm on the other side of the planet as well. So that creates colder than normal temperatures. This is the MOS, Meteorological Output Statistic mean for the maximum temperatures over the next 5 days. Well below normal and well above normal, with a baroclinic zone in between, of course. What about 3 days later? It's going to stay pretty close to that. And there's 3 days later. So you can see some colder temperatures in getting in from the Canadian prairies into the plains and so forth, northern Rockies, and then much warmer than normal across the East Coast. This may be the next worthy of the next month or so, but working up some of the climatology, and it does look like this is going to be the more longer range pattern. Cold out west, warm in the east. Doesn't suit us for snow. And looking at snow is in the red, where we could accrue snow. This is from the valid from the 7th through the 11th and so forth. It's basically going to be north of Vermont, and this does look like a fairly accurate look from the GFS model. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.